Hey guys, I have Kyle here from Noble Solid Service, one of the early remodel commanders who did his install back in, was it February, Kyle?
I think it was February. Yeah, you came out in February and installed it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I guess where I'd like to take this is let's talk about your journey leading up to that point and where you've taken the business since.
So, I was ready to kind of give up on design build. I was doing a lot of kind of dabbling in the exterior space, not really dabbling. I had an LLC and everything. But I was, we were about 2.5, doing a lot of doing some design build stuff, and I was like kind of, I was like kind of burnt out on it. I was ready to give it up. So, um, which was stupid. I just wasn't doing it right. So.
Sure, sure. Sure. So, what did you do in sales? What was the profit margin?
I was doing 2.5 at the end of the day, I was taking home about 8%, 10%. It was pretty wimpy. And so, but after this, I mean, we've already sold this year 2 million, and every single project is going to come in at or above 30% GP, which is great.
Yeah.
And I mean, what is that on the table? It's 600K on the table already. And
Yeah.
it's only June.
And so after paying yourself, I know you said you took home about 8%. That was basically what you paid yourself. You didn't really have any profit to speak of last year. Where do you think your pay is going to land this year and profitability?
Yeah, I'm probably going to take an owner's salary of around 400 grand, nothing crazy, because I want to reinvest it back into the business.
Nothing crazy. Top 1%er income.
Well, I mean, if I
I'm
take
I'm
more than that,
28 years old. No college degree.
exactly,
Young
exactly.
business owner. Fuck you,
So,
school.
but the main thing, I want to reinvest it back into the company and do
Okay.
some cool things with my RC buddies and take a vacation and blah blah blah. So
Yeah. So 400 grand. That's probably going to be about 20% of your revenue. Just what we're tracking so far to build. So going from 8% to 20% in your earnings, it's pretty good. Talk to me about your work week. What did it look like before we started working together?
oh, it was nuts. I was 80 plus 100 hours a week. I mean, I will just work myself to death. So I was doing a lot of that. And now, I mean, I haven't even gotten in the field in probably 2 months.
You
I think
haven't
the next,
worn a tool belt in 2 months.
yeah, not at all. And I was kind of on my way out of that, but now it's final. This was the last nail on the last hammer on the nail. So pretty awesome. If I want to get in the field, it's more for like, for fun, help out the guys or something.
Yeah,
Not
man.
like I have.
So you think you're going to end up at what, 3 mil this year from 2.5 last year?
Yeah, I will for sure end up at 3 mil this year. That's easy. It's like 3 more projects. And then uh end of the year we should be on a run rate for about four. First quarter was kind of weird in this market. I don't know.
It
We had like this
was.
big
It was
flip.
weird,
So
weird. It was weird across the whole country. What's your goal for 2024?
2024 is to be at a run rate of four and just do a cool 2.53 mil profitably, correctly, and get our systems and SOPs in place.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different animal in itself. So
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Break that down for me if you would. In terms of your day to day, how much of that is spent managing jobs, even though you're not in the field, versus actually working on your business?
yeah, I'd say wait like probably 6 hours a week now, maybe even three, as far as managing actual projects.
Wow.
Which is mainly because I'm still training my PM, but the
Yeah.
PMP system is definitely helped a lot in that regard.
Have you gotten any crazy Karen phone calls at 3 in the morning about fucked up projects recently?
No, not really. No, I mean it's like stupid stuff. My cabinet handles aren't working or a breaker flipped. Like, stop, just chill out, dude. Yeah, nothing insane like it used to be.
When are you going to hire an assistant to shield you from those calls?
Yeah, I know. That's the next step. So construction director,
That's
uh,
right.
it puts all the stuff together, and
Yeah,
then
yeah. Kyle, that's actually you're already. I like where you're going with this. What is your plan to go from where you're at right now to 4 mil next year at a profitable 40% gross margin?
Okay, so we have 1 PM. I'm acting as PD. I can probably realistically run appointments and sell about a $7 million book of business,
Yep.
because it's just after that, it's just a lot of bandwidth. And so we're going to hire a construction director, will be the next hire, and then probably replace my current PM and then get another PD. And then that
And
should be able to go
and
right about.
your construction director, what will be his job to train your PMs to run the construction calendar?
Yeah, train PMs, do whips, work in progress reports,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, for the guys that don't know what that is, would you explain for the audience what we call a whip?
Yeah, so our invoice or our estimate doubles as an Excel spreadsheet, and so we're gonna go down, column by column, line by line. This is what it came in at. This is what it's projected at, and this is what we
Right.
actually.
So you have budgets for every single trade, labor and material, and so you're getting a report every other week with an update on where we are at the budget and what more do we need to spend. Is that right?
100%. Yep.
And with that knowledge, are you comfortable to, let's say, go fishing with me in Puerto Rico and know the business isn't going to turn into a burning dumpster fire?
Well, you already know that we already bought the ticket, so.
That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. That's exciting stuff. So if you had one piece of advice, tactical, they could take away and implement right now for the guys watching this, what would you tell the one thing that would move the needle most? Imagine you're self-employed, you're a one-man shop, probably doing less than 500K. You're running. I don't want to say you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, but you basically have a business, but you're only being paid like an employee. What would you tell that guy to break free?
I would tell that guy first to get some sales chops,
Yep.
and then two, to start delegating and get some subcontractors that you can rely on,
Right.
and don't be too much of a pussy to actually sub it out.
Right. Right. It's interesting you say that. Let's unpack that a bit. I mean, what do you think about just doing a review of your time? And what I've noticed is your end of year pay is going to be right around the smallest job, the smallest level task, like that you won't let go. Right. So if you're still in the field, then of course you can only expect to make 60 G's a year, because that's a 35, 45, $50 an hour task. You know what I mean?
Right, that gets into the three levels of value.
That's
The
right.
implementation. Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying. I like where you're going with that.
Right. So for these guys, it's like, go get subs to perform the actual hammer swinging and move up into project management. Get really good at project management while you learn your sales chops, and then you can become Kyle Bridgen.
Yeah, for the people listening, there's no fucking money in building these projects.
No, there is not.
I mean, there is, but like, what are you gonna make, like 120 a year? If you're cool with that, then go for it. You know what I mean? Come work.
Yeah.
Come.
So what sales book or free training would you recommend to these guys to start developing their sales skills so they can take on bigger projects?
My favorite book is How to Have Confidence and Power When Dealing with People. It's not how to win friends and influence people. It's How to Have Confidence and Power When Dealing with People by Les Giblin, and then yeah, that'll get you some really good communication skills.
Sweet. I love it, man. So, I guess, what would be another? We talked about at a high level, strategically of getting your sales chops, go get some subcontractors. What's like something they could do today? Because you can't just snap your finger and get subs. But what would you tell these guys to do to improve their business?
Well, I would definitely find someone further ahead than you at what you're doing, and then pick their brain and unpack it. I'm a huge believer in coaching and taking advice from people who are further along.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on, my man. Well, Kyle, I can't wait to watch your ascent to 4 million. I mean, that's a hell of a ride going from 90-hour work weeks to to only make $160,000
Right.
to on 2.5 million in sales to this year. I mean, the growth, I don't want to say the growth, it's not that looking at your top line, it doesn't tell the full story. I mean,
Right.
you're 3 million with your 20% net. I mean, to go from 180K to 600K and go from an 80-hour work week to a more manageable 40, where maybe a tenth of that time is actually spent managing the field. Kyle, how does that feel, dude?
That feels great. That was the first thing I told you. Like, if you can get me out of the field lane, I'll do whatever you say. All right. Stay down, stay how high.
Yeah. Except you still fought me from time to time in terms of implementation of certain marketing.
I did. I did a little bit. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, bro, just keep grinding. You know where to find me, and I appreciate you sharing a little bit of testimony here for the guys watching.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
All right, man.